This is an onion. This is a poem, peeling onions, which I don't dare to, venture to uh, recite it. Anyways, onion. Let's take it as a metaphor. It is a metaphor for culture, popular metaphor for culture. Okay, Lata ma'am, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So onion, we learn onion, Enneagram like onion. Our evolutionary process is almost very, connected to peeling an onion. How we peel off our different layers, which our actual self is encapsulated with. So peeling off is a very, I would say deculturing or something. To get into touch with our real self, our true self, what we are beyond all this culture, beyond all these tags, beyond all these, what you say, stamps, beyond all these awards, certificates that we are recognized with, what we truly are. So it's a process of inner journey where we strip ourselves to the core, to the core of the core of the core of the core as to what we are. So, Enneagram, I personally see Enneagram in those lines. And so, sorry, okay. Okay, few pertinent questions I would like to ask you again. How would it be when we suddenly become aware that we did not really know the people we thought we knew? You must be very close to someone, suppose, and in an odd situation you recognize that this was not the person, this was not the Ajit I thought. Ajit is different, he can't be like this. Have you had, I'm putting myself as an example, substituting there, you can put anyone there. um have you had any such experiences in life where you came across with a different version of people which you couldn't even believe, which you couldn't even imagine? Have you had any such experience, any of you? Just reflect on this. And how would it be when what feeling would it be? So you could use chat box extensively, and you can even speak also. What feeling it would be if you happen to have such a situation where you suddenly recognize that this is not the person whom I was carrying on my head. In my head, it was a different person. So we all carry each of us in our head. Yes, Rubina Didi, please speak up.
So for me, thank you for the opportunity to speak again, Ajit ji.
Thank you.
For
It's
me, I was very shocked when I found that I am not the kind of person I have always thought myself to be. I'm
yes.
seeing a different side of myself, and I think that is the most shocking. In fact, it's quite a struggle to understand myself better. So it's just that there is no third party involved here. It is myself, and the feeling that I had, I was quite depressed when I realized the true me and how it should be, and also quite shocking and depressing. So this is the truth of recognizing the kind of person I actually am, not the pink tinted glasses with what I had imagined myself to be. So the emotions that I faced were depression as well as shock. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Didi. Actually, you went a step ahead and answered the second question. I was asking about about another person, how it would be, but you asked even a deeper question. That's the second question. How would it be when we suddenly realized we didn't know ourselves? This was, this is not what Rubina is. This is not what Ajit is. How can it be so? Uh, it is like as if you wake up in the morning and see someone else's face. When you look at the mirror and you see someone else's face, how would it be? That is what. Can you resonate with that, Rubina Didi?
Yes, in fact, in my mind, before I start thinking about how other people are different, I'm always analyzing myself. Therefore, the reason for immediately zooming into myself rather than a third person. I'm sorry to have jumped the line, but that was my immediate reaction to your statement. It was all about myself. It was not about another person who shocked me, but myself.
Okay, it's fine, it's fine. So may I hear a few more? Have you had any such experience? Any two, first or second question, where you shocked because of you behaving in a very different way, or because of you seeing someone else behaving in a very different way than you thought? Yeah, please, one after the other. You could, Rajendra sir, please.
Thank you again.
Yeah.
Firstly, I would feel like cheated if answering the first question.
Yes.
My first reaction would be like mostly these are all negative reactions. I would first feel cheated, then I would feel angry, and then I would realize that it is not that person's fault, but it is a shortcoming on my own shortcoming and lack of understanding of myself on my part.
Sir.
I did not understand, or I presumed that it is in a particular way. So it is fault is with me.
So
like
what is that emotion that you choose, that one immediately? Is it a shock, or is it what you felt when?
Yes, I would be shocked and angry.
Okay, angry. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, angry, because what I am seeing now is not in line with what I thought.
Yes,
so
yes.
There is not any sameness, so it's not matching. So I am angry.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Like
okay, makes sense, sir.
The second part, so far I have not had this experience. Generally, I'm a little bit of frank guy, so it's usually
it's
not
fine, sir.
so.
It's fine. Anyone, because both are, that we will come to. Can I listen to a few, two more of you? Any two of you also could reflect how it would be if you could recognize, or I mean, if you have had any experience of recognizing yourself as a different person, or someone else as a very different person than what you thought. I think someone else was raising the hand.
Hi, Ajit sir.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be really very upsetting.
No, who is speaking? Okay, Vimla ma'am. Yes, please. Yeah.
No, when we see people change, I mean, they're not like what we thought. The first thing that would strike is you get upset.
Yes, absolutely.
That would be my emotion.
You get upset. Okay. Do you feel sad, or do you feel angry, or do you feel upset? Can you just add a little more of what you say?
It can be upset and sad, and most of the time when you see people doing like this, it is like I get dumbstruck. I don't feel like talking.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the sharing. So so we will see the next part of this thing. Again, after listening to a few experiences, when I asked about others, it was very, it was very accidental, but it is very notable that Rubina Didi was, even before asking about self, she was answering about herself. So doesn't it, resonate that we and other are actually two sides of one coin itself? What do you think on that? It's just an opinion I'm asking. One or two could speak. Of course, Rubina Didi, what do you think? Because I spoke about someone else and you suddenly answered about yourself. Do you think you and the other person? Yes, Rajendra sir, thank you. Are, or you belong to same? Once two sides of the same coin, two pages of the same book, or whatever, different pages of the same book. Okay, Is there anyone else, anyone disagreeing with that? It need not necessarily be so. Yes, please.
Sir?
Yes.
So I think understanding ourselves and understanding others are two sides of the same coin. Because
Yes, yes, yes.
sometimes the qualities that we have in ourselves that we value, we cannot fit in others. And certain qualities we have in us which we don't like, which we are fighting to get out of, when we see it in somebody else, we are very critical about it. We guard our ability to deal with it, but we're very critical about it because we have it in small measures. But
Ma'am,
when
it is
it comes to
breaking.
somebody having
Maybe
that,
because of my internet. I don't know. It's breaking. I couldn't, figure out exactly.
is
Uh,
okay. Am I audible now, sir?
yes, yes, perfect. Can you
Yeah,
just
I said,
tell?
yeah, certain qualities which we have or which we want to have, when we see it in others, we like it very much. We appreciate them. We think very
Yes,
highly of them.
yes.
And certain qualities which we have, which we are battling to get in control, maybe like anger, or maybe a little bit of a low self-esteem, or a frustration that we have in life in day to day. This, when we see it in somebody else, we are very quick to criticize them.
Okay.
Like we are still struggling with it, but when somebody else is showing it, displaying it, we are very fast to this. So I think it's
Thank you,
two
ma'am.
sides of the
Thank you.
same thing.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So here we start with Enneagram. Enneagram is a science. You may call it pseudoscience because it cannot be proved empirically, or it cannot be, what do you say? There is no scientific backup, meaning there is any formula or something. It is not a postulate or a theory which can be proved or so. It is widely considered as a pseudoscience, but it is too deep enough to understand ourselves. And thereby, this last question is very pertinent because understanding ourselves and understanding others are not much different. What we think about others is what we think about ourselves many a times, or what we think about ourselves is what we think about others. Our inner nature is reflected externally many a times. So Enneagram is essentially a study of, I would say, oneself itself. But as per the popular definition, it's a study on how you act in certain way and how others act in a certain way. So anything when you study, the best approach, or the what you say, simplest approach is to know what it is and how it is and why it is. So the what part, the structure of Enneagram. Let's see. Enneagram symbol looks like this. You can all see this. An outer circle which symbolizes unity, which symbolizes a higher oneness or unity. There is an inner triangle which I try to trace it through this one. There is an inner triangle you can all see. I have taken a diagram with a different color. That inner triangle represents something called the law of three, and it is beyond the scope of our introductory session, so I'm not getting into that. Law of three is what this inner triangle, this construct depicts, or represents law of three. There is an irregular hexagon. There is an irregular hexagon which represents the law of seven. And there are numbers on Enneagram, which is where it is numbered. Okay. This is how it is consecutively numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 points you identify in the circumference. And this Enneagram word itself means 9 lines. 9, a point and a line has a connection. A point, when you extend, mathematically it becomes a line. So this is numbered clockwise and evenly spaced out. An Enneagram learner would always learn how to draw an Enneagram, how to draw the shape of Enneagram, which is very important. Again, Enneagram is a geometric design consisting of a circle with an equilateral triangle and an irregular hexagon inside, which touch the circle at 9 points, from which each point has one, each point actually is a vertex of 2 lines. Sorry if I'm becoming a little more technical, and this is inevitable in the learning of Enneagram. These words or this may be a little mathematical, but still I'm a little forced to speak these terminologies. Now, again, coming back to, we want to have an X-ray vision of how others are. We want to see others like we are very good in interpreting how others think, and we want to see how others think. We want to hear how others think, what is running in their mind. We want to have that boon of X-ray vision of how others behave. But we don't want to show what we really are. We want to be opaque. We want ourselves to be opaque. We want to wear the clothes, and we don't want to be stripped before others. But we want to see others completely stripped. We want to see what they are. We want to understand what they think. We are bothered how others think, what makes them speak or what makes them behave in a certain way. We are very bothered, but we are never bothered, generally never bothered, but there are exceptions, of course, we have seen here itself. We are bothered how we think, how we behave, how we act. So Enneagram study will help us to clear those gaps. We can put ourselves, we can see ourselves through the eyes of others. Is it possible actually? Is it possible to look at ourselves with the same objective eye we look at others? See, we are very good in criticizing others. In a family, probably we tend to criticize the partner. In a job, we tend to criticize our boss or the system. Or in a situation, given situation, we tend to criticize anyone else. And if there is no one else, if you are a believer, you will criticize God. Why God did so? I mean, I'm saying there's nothing wrong or right. This is a common observation, how we do. And we excuse ourselves very easily, very conveniently, without much effort. We don't punish ourselves. That is actually a good thing. That builds our self-esteem, and we should not punish ourselves. We should excuse ourselves. But can we excuse others also? Is a big question. So Kierkegaard said we should become subjective towards others, empathetic, subjective towards others, and objective towards ourselves. We see others opaque and ourselves stripped completely. We should empathize with others when we judge them, and we should see ourselves as they see us when we judge ourselves. Oh, what such a beautiful statement. Okay, Anita, 1 second. Isn't it also possible that we are forgiving of others, but we don't forgive ourselves? Yeah, of course, we should forgive ourselves. That's what I said. It's I'm not speaking about the right or wrong or what is the should or must. I'm speaking about a common observation. Generally, we tend to conveniently not forgiving. It's forgiveness is again a big word. Generally, we tend to excuse ourselves. I think you got it, isn't it, Anita? We tend to easily excuse ourselves, or we can defend easily ourselves, but we don't bother to defend others. Why should we? That in that level only I was saying. And forgiveness is again a deeper thing, where we recognize we and the other as one and the same. That's again a different, that's in a deeper level. So actually, this is a life-changing statement for me, what Kierkegaard said. We should become subjective towards others and objective towards ourselves. Whenever we get angry at others, just try to remove yourself from your body and Place yourself in the person to whom you are speaking, and through his or her eyes, look at you, how you would look like, how you are, what you must be. Strip yourselves and see what you are really, what you are truly. And we start empathizing with others. We can see how others see us. And we judge rather than judging. That's actually the beauty of Enneagram. I think we tend to excuse ourselves because we know the situation, but with others, we just react to the action words without bothering to understand the person's situation. I agree with you, sir. Again, there is a small clause. We think that we know more about the situation and we know more about ourselves. That is again a myth. We think we know much more about ourselves, but we come to a shock at times that earlier Rubina Didi was saying, I thought I was so, and I suddenly that recognize. Sometimes we won't even recognize in the lifetime, thinking that this is what I am. We carry a picture of ourselves till the grave and won't recognize that we have a different face.